Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Simply BI. My name is Harshit and today we are going to learn about the overview of Power Query Editor. So this is the part 1 of the video. So today we are going to work with a data set called O data feed. Okay. So how do we load that data? So just go to data, get data, click on more, search for O data feed. Okay. Now just click on this. Okay. Click on connect. Here you will need to paste the URL. Okay. So what we are gonna do, we're just gonna copy the URL. Just give me a second. Let's close this. So here is the Martin sample data set. Okay. Just click on this, copy. Okay. I'll be posting the link in the description box, so you can also copy the link from there. Okay. Go to Power BI. Go to get data. Click on this. Select again O data feed. Okay, you can see the option over here. Now click on this, click on connect and just paste the URL which we have just copied. Okay, great. Now it will display all the tables over here. Okay, so now we are just going to select, let's say, order details table over here. Okay, so now here you can see in the preview that we have a product ID column over here. Okay, it is coming from this product table. Okay. So now in order details table, there is some data which is coming from another table. Okay. So manually, if we see that in this order details table, it has very few columns. It has only 6, 7 columns. Okay. But when you are working with a large data set, it has many different, there would be 50, 60 columns. Okay. So it would be very difficult to understand like what is the relation, like let's say what is the relation of columns from the different tables. Okay. So it is easier to choose all. So here in this case, it is very easier to choose all those tables where table is having relationship from different tables. Okay. So you can see that in order details, we have a product ID. So it is having a relationship from this product table. Now, so to overcome this issue, we have a functionality over here. As you can see, there is a option in here. It says select related tables. Okay. So when you click on this select related tables, it will select all of the related tables over here. Okay. So now this is possible. Why this is possible here is because this here is a very highly normalized data set. Okay. So this would not be in the same case when you're working with Excel, or because in Excel we might, or in the company's data. So most of the time the data is unstructured. The data is we can say it is a raw data. Okay. So this functionality you won't be able to see over there. Okay. Now, so if you click on this related tables again, you can see that now many tables have been selected. Why? Because in you can see that in orders table, okay, and in products table. So in these two tables, whatever the related tables will be there, that would be selected. Okay. Now, in each table, okay, you can see there are some columns which are having reference to the other table. Okay. As I said, this is why, because this is a very highly normalized data set. Now, let's move ahead. Okay. So, okay. So now what we are going to do, we're just going to load the data. Let's say we select few of the data sets. Okay. So here we will manually choose it. So let me just select. Okay. So we'll choose the orders table, order details. We'll choose the orders table, products, uh, let's say regions, shippers. Okay. Um, then employee, customer. Okay. And we can select categories and we can select territories. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just load this data into the Power Query editor. So to load this data into Power Query editor, just click on this transform data button. Okay, great. Now this will open the Power Query editor for you. Okay. Now, before we deep dive into this Power Query editor, okay, so we are just gonna learn something about what are the merged columns. Okay, so all of these things you can see here, these are the merged columns over here. Okay, so when I talk about, let's say, merged columns, okay, if I talk about merged, okay, in Power BI, whenever I'm talking about merged, it means join. Okay, and when I'm talking about append, it means union. Okay, keep this in mind. Okay, now, so let's see. Okay, so very first step, when you load the data into the Power Query editor, okay, we need to keep the useful data, okay, only. We don't want the data which is not, we will not be using in the data model or while creating the reports. It is very important to keep only the relevant data. Okay, so now what we are going to do, as you can see, there are two columns, this product and orders. Okay, so we're just gonna select these since we don't require this, so we're just gonna remove this. Okay, so now how do we remove the columns? So just right click on this and click on this remove columns. Okay, on this right side you can see there's a query settings. Okay, so this query setting, in some of you or in most of the time, or there can be time when you will not be able to see this option. Okay, so how do we enable it? So to enable this query settings, very easy, just go to this view tab and just select this, click on this query setting. Okay, so now this is disabled. So if you again click on this, this will be enabled to you. Okay, great. Now, here you can see there is a window which is named as applied steps. Okay. So whatever operations you perform in your table, in your data, okay, everything will be captured here, okay, as a step. Okay. Like I have removed two columns, I just saw, you just saw. So you can see that it has, there is there is a step added called removed columns. Okay. So now let's say if I click on this unit price, okay, and if I add a space over here in between this, okay, and if I click on enter, so you can see that another step has been added and it is named as the renamed column. Okay, now these applied steps, it performs many, we can say many roles. So let's see few of the roles. First is it helps us to undo any of the change. Okay, like in Excel, what we generally use is Control Z, Control Y. Okay, but in Power Query Editor, this will not work. Okay, so how do we undo? How do we undo any change? Let's say I have renamed the columns. If I want to remove the space again in the unit price, so I just click on this tab. Okay, it will be undo. But there is no option for redo. You just need to perform the step again. Okay, like if I want to add the space between the unit price again, then again I need to click on this. Okay, and then again I need to enter the space. So there is no redo option. Okay. Now, uh, if you provide a flexibility, or we can say this applied steps, it also provide you the flexibility to record all of your data transformation operations in a documented format. Okay. So if we see like we have removed two of the columns, right? Orders and product. So here it only says in the applied step that removed columns. So we are not able to guess like what columns were removed, or let's understand with a scenario. Let's say I am working as a Power BI developer in your organization. Okay. And I have been working on very complex data set, and I have been doing the data modeling. Okay. But what happened is, all of a sudden, let's say I left the organization. The new person, okay, which comes in my place or as a, my replacement. So when he is working on the data model, he must have a proper documentation on what are the steps I have taken to modify or to transform the data, right? So if I want to just know like which two columns were removed, okay, so there are two ways. Okay, either you can just click on this. Here you can see that this is the M query. Okay. So here you can see that orders and products columns were removed. Also, what you can do here, you can either go right click on this and rename. So removed columns, and we will just write a little descriptions on like which two columns we have removed. So we will write orders and products. Okay, great. Now click on save. Also, if you see here, we have a renamed column. So in renamed column, there is also no description like which of the columns was renamed. So you can see here in the M query, it says unit price was renamed to this unit price. Okay. Now, so we have learned about this. How can we rename the steps in the applied steps window, right? Okay. Now, let's say we have a quantity column over here. Okay. And I want to change its data type. Let's say, sorry. Okay. So I'm just going to right click, change type. Let's say I have changed it to text. Okay. Now, and let's say I have removed this order ID column. Okay. So now if I want to change the data type, okay, of the quantity column, okay, of this column to, let's say, decimal. So you can see here, either there are two ways you can do this. Okay. The first way is you can create another step. Okay. Or you can go back in time and you can modify the previous step. Okay. How can we do that? So you can see in the applied step window, there is a change type. Okay, we did it over here. So just click on this. Okay. Now, one thing to note here is, like, we went back to the step in the change type. So here you can see that the order ID column is again available. So why it is available? Because this change type step was taken like right the order when we remove the order ID, it was after the change type we did, right? So this here it will be present. Now what we can do here is we just go here. Okay, just click on this, change type, and let's say we wanted it a decimal number, so we did. Okay, now it is asking you to insert a step, okay, between these two. So what we are gonna do, okay, if we don't want to insert another step, let's say, okay, let's say if you insert it, okay. So what happened is you can see that the data type has changed. Okay, now what you can do here is you can see that now the data type of this is nothing but it is a decimal number, and you have added a step over here in between this renamed column and removed column, correct? Okay, so this was the part 1 of the video. I hope this the basic of the Power Query editor, the basic of applied steps and this query setting window is, I hope, a little bit clear to you. Okay. So if you have any questions, if you have anything to ask, please post your doubts in the comment section. I'll definitely take up to that. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more.